Alright everybody, welcome to another Corey B MTG standard video. Today we're going to be playing ourselves some Golgari with, yep, you guessed it, more Llanowar Elves, as this is really the card in Foundation that I'm the most excited about. So I'm trying it out basically in every single brew. But before we get into it, make sure to subscribe to the channel, like this video, and of course share it to get the word out. I of course really appreciate the support when it comes to that kind of stuff. So today we're playing Golgari. Golgari, kind of the best deck at being this anti-creature deck that can also still go toe-to-toe with control because it has great hand disruption. All of its creatures draw a card in some ways, so you almost never run out of steam with this kind of deck. You also, you just kind of destroy creature decks most of the time. There's of course decks that can go way over the top of you. Maybe combo decks, big mana decks are usually your big problem here. And then sometimes decks that go way under, like Convoke strategies, they can be tricky in the game one configurations before we start bringing in sweepers and stuff like that. So taking a look at the specifics of the deck, of course we're starting with Llanowar Elves, so had to make some changes when it came to this deck's normal construction. We've seen this kind of deck, you know, from Marcio Carvalho taking second at the World Championship pre-Foundations, where it looked a lot different because, well, everyone was playing 4 main deck Duresses. That still might be the correct way to be doing it if you're looking to compete in a tournament. But, you know, right now to test out Llanowar Elves, I not only had to adjust the mana base to have much more forests, so I figured as far as forests to be able to cast on turn 1, 14 is already kind of low, but, you know, we'll see. Yeah, honestly, 14 is kind of low. I'm going to go with 15, a last-minute switch here to try it out. But you got to always have that number in mind to be able to cast turn 1 Llanowar Elves. And you can't really be playing Duress in the main deck as well with Llanowar Elves. It just doesn't really work. As good of a card of each of them are, we have all of our Duresses in the board, and we'll kind of, I wouldn't say switch out, because we'll still probably keep our Llanowars, but the Duresses are only going to be in the sideboard. So then as far as Golgari goes, of course we're going to have a lot of removal. We have cut downs, we have Anoint with Affliction, Go for the Throat to be able to deal with any problematic creatures. Then we have creatures that gain card advantage like the Snorse, the Snake Horse here, Caustic Bronco, Mosswood, Dread Knight, pretty much a staple in every Golgari deck. Speaking of staples, we of course have Glissa. The main premise of this deck is being able to go turn 1 Llanowar Elf, turn 2 Glissa, or Unholy Annex to start gaining some advantage and seeing how good that actually is. Followed by that, we have 4 Archfiend, as this card is just not only one of the best creatures in Standard, but whenever you play Unholy Annex, it's pretty much an auto-include. And then we put a fun of one of Vivian Reed to be able to draw one of our new Foundation cards. And let's get real, I just love this style of card. I played Golgari at a Pro Tour back in my day. Actually, I think it was called a Mythic Championship back in my day. I didn't do well, just to say the least. That was where Boros dominated with Luis taking second to Andrew Ellenbogen. Then in the sideboard, we got a bunch of Duresses, some extra removal, as well as some sweepers like Choking Miasma and Gix Command. Tranquil Frillbacks for graveyards, artifacts, and enchantments. Not going to lie, this card comes in a lot. And then Vivian, Liliana of the Veils. You know, most of the time when you're on the play, we'll bring this in different situations. So before we start to the game, we of course got to talk about the sponsors that make this video, make this channel happen. And starting it off, it's KMC. So if you want to try out some really cool KMC products, you can head on over to kmc.com. You can see all of the things they have. They have sleeves. They have the Hyper Phoenix sleeves. They have hyper mats as well as inner sleeves, and they have this really cool new product. I always point the wrong way. This really cool new product, their Mox Luxury Deck Box that they just unveiled. It's a really affordable price, and let me tell you, these deck boxes are really high quality. There's a lot of different colors as well. I have the blue teal one. Really cool. So use that promo code up in the top right, Corey B, to save yourself 15% off. And our next sponsor, of course, is Heavy Play. If you are interested in any of the really high quality products that Heavy Play has to offer, they also just unveiled a brand new product as well. That is the Phil Stone playmats with all the different artworks on their ETB playmats. They look really clean and sharp. I'm a huge fan of them. They also have RFG deck boxes. They have curved sleeves. Really, all of their products work together magnetically and stuff too. So really cool stuff. Head on over to heavyplay.com and use that promo code CoreyB. That will save yourself a solid chunk of money. Save yourself 15% off or 10% off at checkout. So, all right, let's game. Let's do this. We are on the draw, but we have a turn 1 Llanowar. We have just a great hand. We even have our spicy Vivian, so I'm here for this. Let's see how we can do. All right, get duressed right away. So our cut down or our Vivian is gone. Interesting what they want to take. Vivian for the long game. Dang, takes our spicy Vivian already. So turn 1 Llanowar, this is what we came to do in this video. I'm loving this. All right, so a Dimir deck. Now they can have certain counter spells. They can have a lot of stuff. So now it's the question, do I want to play more proactively or do I want to do more setup? So, I mean, I have all the options. I could start with just drawing a card off Dread Knight and tap land go. That's like the most conservative play possible. Or get Bronco down and tap land. I really can't double spell leave up cut down unless I want to play the Dread Knight, which I don't. So I think that kind of answers it for me. I'm going to play Bronco and then Cottage. Your go. Probably a dead Snorse. Okay, land go. Now this feels like I want to play a land, do the adventure side, so that it doesn't get phantom interfered. The counter unless you pay 2. Negate would suck here. I don't know why they'd be playing main deck negate or some other effect like that. Okay, so that didn't happen at least, but then we'll play the Dread Knight. Okay, happy with that. Not happy with that. They didn't bolt the bird, huh? Now we got nothing, though. Really need a good draw, as we have not drawn well since our initial draw. Jace the Perfected Mind. Okay, are they trying to combo me? Okay, well, I mean, I think I have no choice here, mostly because I don't have any plays, but let's go like this. Start attacking Jace. And get rid of this card. And then we'll say go. Not great, though. We're really bricking. But maybe they don't have anything else. Like if they just tick up on Llanowar, I'm going to do the same thing. And even if they have a removal spell for this first cottage, I can play a second cottage.
You can be made to obey.
Here it comes. Let's get this out of there. Just a chump block. A little punished for not playing that, but I think it's okay. If this was already at 4, I think I would have maybe did something else, but now I'm going to play a Mortuary, and I'm going to leave that beautiful card on top, but probably won't cast it next turn, as I very much want to try to deal with this Jace. Now they might just -2, and then I could just attack. Wow. Just because I kept a card on top, or are they really trying to mill me out? They're really trying to mill me out. Respect. At 34 cards. But I don't have any follow-up, so Here we go. I don't care about my life total yet. I'll win this race, though, so you keep doing that. I'll win the race with my library size as well as my life total with all these food. Pretty soon I'll be able to crash in for 2 cottages, too. Such a great land. So is their Restless Reef, don't get me wrong, but... Mill away. Come, come, come. Except they keep hitting my gas and I keep drawing lands. Well, for how terrible we're drawing, we're still doing pretty good. Here comes the cottage. Creature land fight! Alright, so far this cut down's been terrible. They do have Fairy Mastermind, but that's about it. Card we can consider taking out for sure. Oh boy. So that is... Oh my god, is that just lethal? I believe it is. Alright, get milled out in Standard game 1. Alright. Oh wait. No, that's 15. Okay. I almost scooped. Yeah, 3 times 15. I don't know why I was thinking 5 times... No, that is the exact thing I was thinking. Okay. I just can't do math. Maybe our opponent can either. Alrighty then. That was strange. So Duresses seem great. Now it's the weird dilemma of I have Duress and Llanowar in my deck. It's something that feels a little awkward as, you know, you want to be playing your Llanowars first. Maybe I'm overthinking this. Maybe this is not awkward at all. Maybe I'm just a big old dum-dum. You ever think of that, my fellow viewers? Okay, so I definitely want to take some removal out. It's, do I want cut down? I mean, these deal with the creature lands. I bet my opponent's playing like the Excruciator to flip. I probably don't want a Vivian if they're trying to mill me out. I don't have anything more aggressive besides like Frillbacks. They don't seem great. Liliana could be okay. Yeah, Liliana seems pretty good. Up against Fairy Mastermind, it's not amazing, I will say, but... So 2 more cards to come out. I have 6 removal spells in a deck that didn't seem like I really wanted any, except for Masterminds, but I do have to kill those Masterminds. On the draw, maybe Liliana is not good enough, and maybe it's just not good in this matchup, so we'll try this. Okay, so starting it up. By the way, in these standard videos, I'm going to constantly be trying to improve as I go. So if you have any feedback, please, you know, drop that in the comments, DM me, any of those kind of things. Anything you would like to see more of as, you know, I'm making these videos for you. So I want you to be able to really enjoy it and get your free time value here. Okay, so on the draw, we have a Bronco, we have a Dread Knight. That value goes a decent ways. The rest of the hand is less than impressive, but I am going to keep this. A very close hand, of course. You know, I could see this being a mulligan. We didn't want to be drawing a land right off the front, but that's okay. Okay, what do I think they would have? I really don't want to draw a card right now because they could have Mastermind, so let's just start with the Snores. Looks like I guessed wrong. They had removal. I don't think they had a Mastermind with the way that the client just passed to me there, but who knows. Brutal. I should have known they played those. I still think I want to draw cards here and get my value. That's kind of the whole point of this hand is I had land, so I'll draw into stuff. And I did. Now, next turn is going to be a turn where we want to get a play going, I imagine. Now, do we want to go for the Archfiend, and if it dies to a removal spell, we feel bad? Or go for 2 Dread Knights? I almost think the Dread Knight plan, because we need to find a way to deal with this demon. And we could just attack it, don't get me wrong, if that were to live. Guess I gotta bring in Terrace Under, huh? The Liliana looks really good now, too. So, alright, I think I made some mistakes in sideboarding. Good lessons to learn by. So let's go with another Dread Knight. And let's just play the Snores. Not feeling good. Nay. Alright. They could just make a Fountain Fish. Okay. I'm better. I'm happier that we did this play than play Archfiend with them having a go for the throat. But now they just have this excellent play. Kind of the same thing, but even better. Alright, well, there we at least have that. And a Dread Knight, and we'll say go. Still just wildly far behind with an Annex on the field. That's just how important these Demon Mirrors are. We saw this at the World Championships so much. It was like, whenever they resolved Demon, you were in trouble. Or resolve the Annex first, you know, but... Might just go another Demon. Makes sense to me. Liliana would be such a good draw, but instead, what if we didn't? Alright, it's the best we got, and it is not anywhere near good enough. Look, they still have 7 cards in hand. I bet they're not 3 lands. They could even do the other Annex and drain me for 4. Yeah, we dead. We are dead. I guess, what if I killed this? If I top deck something to kill it, and then attack for 12? 14? I mean, that's still just a dent. So I do got to block, I just still got to draw a removal spell. Okay. I think I got to start by attacking. This is a type of game where it's reasonable to just concede, but we're under the Reed Duke train of thought. Like, keep playing it out. All right, now we can concede. Now that we're factually dead on board. All right, we'll make some changes now. I definitely like not having the cut downs, but the Terrace Under looks good. The Frillbacks actually look pretty decent, and the Liliana's good. Anoint with Affliction is probably not good if I'm trying to kill Archfiend. So I'm really doing a 180 on sideboarding here. As this is just more of a standard Dimir Demon. This is basically the finals of the World Championship matchup. Now, do we want the Vivian? The Vivian actually does seem okay. I bet they take out the Perfected Mind stuff, so maybe Duress on the play is actually just not great. Kind of just talking out loud. Not sure exactly what we're going to do yet. But if we take Duress out, we're just the proactive deck. Trying to win the game and not try to have hand disruption. We're going to try it. On the draw, I like Duress more. On the play, we just want to be proactive. Could be wrong to just be all 4 in, all 4 out. Easily could be. But this is what we're going to try out. We're just going to try to get them. All right, a big game 3. Let's start it off, of course. All right, this is a good hand. Our mana base is a lot better than the last one. We have an extra spell. Even one removal spell here could be gigantic. So we're going to keep. We are susceptible to a turn 1 Duress now, which sucks. And then we're back to exactly what we are, but didn't have it, luckily. Now, I'm still going to go for it, but man, if they have the cut down again, this will be brutal. No! Maybe I should have. I mean, obviously I should have, but. Now, do I want to just play the creature to get some damage going if they were to play like Annex? Kind of want to, but also want the value. For sure going to play Llanowar. Alright, I am going to try to get aggressive. Because if I don't have an answer to their Annex, so my best answer is to go through. So now I can attack with the cottage, which is unfortunate. Oh, if they have the exile too, still really good. I'm getting so punished on a lot of my lines. That's too bad. Okay, that was a great draw. We needed that. All right, we had a great curve out here too. So now next turn we can also attack with the cottage. So like we have pressure here. Wow. Oh, that was the draw effect. Okay, so they've given up. That's a good sign. That means they don't have answers for exactly what I have. Come on! Okay, I mean, they're taking a ton here. I am going to give them the business. I am still going to deal with Jace. They're going to take 10. Now, they could still make their demon, and it's still good. Man, that duress on the go for the throat there was brutal. So they can go up to 8 if they ritual chamber. Then they take 7, 8. Actually, they can't. They'll be dead. That's a good sign. Yes! Okay, sweet, sweet, sweet. All right, 1-0 with our Llanowar Elf Golgari build. That was a roller coaster of a match, so let's play some more. On the draw, no Llanowar, but we have a cut down as a way to deal with their early creatures. We have an Annex into Archfey. I mean, this hand is nice. Our mana base is slightly awkward with the Mortuary, but not bad. Not bad by any means. We'll see if we want to start with a marsh here. I think the waste means we almost assuredly would start with the Blooming Marsh, but them starting with Seacrum Coast leads me to believe that they're not a creature deck. So a Mortuary seems okay. Like this could be Oculus. That's the only blue-white deck that I know, or blue-white control, if that's still a thing. So yeah, let's go with the Mortuary just so we can for sure curve out 2, 3, 4. And I don't need an extra land. All right, let's hope we don't get punished by them playing a creature we want to kill here. So then we're just really put behind. Yeah, I kind of figured we wouldn't. So Blooming Marsh 1. Now, what are we afraid of as far as playing and drawing a card or just getting the beatdowns in? I'm kind of afraid that they actually would just kill it straight away and we wouldn't be able to bring it back next turn. So maybe I draw a card here. I think almost no matter what I'm going to do, it's probably going to get no more lies. I think that's still in the format. Tough choice. Definitely casting it. That would put us up to 6 cards. Annex puts up to another. We're going to draw enough cards here. I'm going to go with the Dread Knight. Let's see if we get punished by that. Okay. Oh, no. They got the combo already? Well, we're dead. Jeez. They just got Helping Hand plus Oculus? All right. Well, they're definitely Oculus. But now we're dead. I mean, this is the power of that deck. You can just do that. And it just, these games just don't feel close. Well. I mean, I feel like we're already dead, but let's keep the fight going. Like, do I want to trade with their random face-down creature? Not really. Ugh. Oculus. Gonna kick our butt. Shota played this version, it looks like, with the Soul Partitions. And it's good. It is good. Yeah, I mean, it was one of the best, if not the best performing deck at the World Championship numbers-wise. But to be fair, the only 3 players that were playing it were Shota Yasuoka, Ely Cassis, and another gamer that's on Team Handshake as well, that I forget his name. So sorry to you, buddy, as he's a very good player as well. Okay, well, here we go. I don't want to attack yet because I don't want to cast it the next turn. They got a Soul Partition for the Archfiend. I'm so dead. I really needed any removal spell for the Oculus instead of this cut down, and I had a chance. But as it stands, I have no chance. I'm surprised they're not attacking with the face down creatures. Yeah. Even if they're bad. So this one's clearly good. So I'm going to spend my next turn Archfiend and killing it. But does that mean I want to block now, or do I want to wait? I think I want to wait because I don't want to cast it next turn. Okay, no choice here but this, and cut down the middle one. I got a vibe. I think it's something hot. I think it's a hot card. That's my vibe, at least. A Hwati Jin. Such a fun card to say. What? Okay, well, I guess I'll just die. Surge of Salvation in the main deck? Opponent's cooking. Let him cook. I think I'm going to want all my duresses. Maybe I've slowed them down enough? Okay. I mean, they can't attack now, I would imagine. And I will have to get aggressive at some point. And at some point, I might mean right now, but we'll see. Because their army grows. Well, if I make a 6/6 and I block 2, take 6, I'm not dead yet. Or I annex to be able to gain a little bit of life and pass. And then cut down this one. I'm still cutting down this one. I have the vibe. Ha ha ha! What a hot call. See, you can gain a lot of information by how your opponent attacks. They chose not to attack with that one turn. It was a very clear sign that, oh, they had something they liked there. So always be picking up on that stuff. A good, the more you know with Corey B. Horrible draw from Corey B. Alright, opted up. I'll basically have to attack next turn with that Archfiend. Unless it dies, then I die. So I can take 7, 9. So I go to 1. Yup. Well, we may have lost this game, but I feel like we won and we learned a good life lesson. And that's really all that mattered. Just kidding. None of that BS. We wanted to win the damn game. Alright, sideboard against blue-white Oculus. Anoint, excellent. Cutdowns, not excellent. Liliana of the Veil, actually pretty bad because whenever they Oculus, they have a creature, they have a little buddy that comes along. Frillback can get their yard. It can gain some life, but that's about all it does. So I don't love that. I think that's all the changes I want. So now I guess I have to put in 2 more cards. So what else? Probably just more spot removal. Anything to kill the stupid Oculus. Oh, I probably do want duresses. Is Vivian Reed too slow? Probably, but we're for science going to keep it in. And we'll go with just 2 duresses, as I think I like all the rest of my cards. Especially on the play. The Glissas probably are actually not amazing. Like, sure they destroy, or sure they draw a card whenever they connect and they're hard to deal with. Maybe that's enough of a reason. Yeah, I'm going to do that. When we're on the draw, I think I might actually bring in the full duresses and trim some Llanowar. Or trim some Glissa. I think that'll be my play draw differentiating. I say that now just in case we don't get to a 3rd game. The more you know with Corey B. Okay, on the play, removal spell into Glissa, into Archfiend. We're going to keep 2 Fountain Ports is kind of annoying, but really not that big of a deal. Annex is amazing. Always happy with that card. It does suck that we're not going to do anything this turn. It's just a pass, but that's okay. Now it's going to be an interesting choice if we Unholy Annex or Glissa, depending on what they could have. Like, they're probably picklocking us, but they're better at dealing with creatures. But Glissa gets much worse over time, so I'm just going to jam Glissa again. And then we can go Archfiend into Ritual Chamber. Is the plan, at least. They also have negates, at least in the 75, so they could have dealt with that, but whatever. Either one we were playing was getting countered there. Alright, well, I think we YOLO this one. Just to be mana efficient here, so next turn we could either go Unholy Annex plus go for the throat, or just Ritual Chamber. Don't do it to me again. Okay. At least they bricked on it, but they still flipped over the Oculus. So we will be trying to deal with that this turn if we can. God, they got it again. They went with the Huarijin, though. Interesting. Well, we get to start next turn by just smacking for 6 and see what they do. Start with a smack. And now we can go with a Annex. I hope they tapped correctly for that for me. They did. They had the negate. Okay. So they could have another negate, which would be bad. I don't want them to untap with this, but I also want them to tax their mana now. That does add both. I could think about just playing a Dread Knight, but then next turn, if they just have like a bunch of Moment of Truce and stuff like that, then it's way worse. I think it just doesn't get better here. So I'm still gonna do this. Feels bad if they have it, but it's better than them untapping with a bunch of stuff. Ugh. Honestly, it was still better this happened now, as they would have an extra power this turn to attack me. Things are not going our way so far. Yeah, now they get to pop off. Yeah, Huarijin looking good. This matchup feels bad. This matchup does not feel great. There they have a Charter Course, a 1-mana draw 2 if they attack. And they can just almost assuredly kill me next turn. And I'm not even close. They can just play a Prankster if they have nothing else as a chump blocker. We're wildly behind unless we find a removal spell for this Huarijin. Yeah, they're thinking if it's okay to just play a pick lock. I mean, them not playing it is probably a horrible sign for us. Well, we're going to start with the only play we have. As if we don't hit it, we're just basically dead. Alright, well, I think that means we can't attack. I mean, there's also another world where maybe we can't afford to not attack, as we'll die to this oil counters. Yeah, I think we actually have to attack and hope they just don't have 2 more spells. Feels terrible, but I don't think we have an out here. Yeah, because we'll die to our oil counters for sure. There's a not 100% chance that we die to this. So let's go like this and just wave the white flag. Hope they have all lands in their hand, and then we're still in trouble, to be honest. If they have all 3 lands in hand, we'd still probably lose this game. As they just go 3 picklock pranksters. Alright. So now we're dead to a spell. Any spell. That'll do it. All right. All right. Yep. GG. Let's try to win the third one. That was a beating. We have the start. Llanowar Elf into Glissa. This is pretty much the only thing I wanted to be doing in Standard, so I'm, of course, snap keeping. All right. Starting with the best start you can have. Blooming Marsh into Elf. Really ideal. And hopefully our Elf doesn't die. Looks like it won't. Okay, what are we up against? Doesn't matter because we're playing a turn 2 Glissa on the play. Yes! I'm here for this. Now, I mean, just Dread Whisperers into Dread Knight next turn is excellent. Okay. Alright, I think our opponent's playing the Gruul Surprise deck that we played a little bit earlier. So, regardless, I only want to attack with Glissa. I'm going to use my mana for Llanowar. We're going to draw a card and lose a life. And I want to just get max pressure going. Max pressure would be like play this, get a Llanowar, and then Cottage. Actually, that might not be terrible. I was just about to say, but I'd rather have one less Elf in play and have another card. That being said, yeah, I'm still going to do that, but it's close. Because I want to try to find like a Go for the Throat or something. This deck's very vulnerable to you just killing their Calamity thing. This means we won't be able to attack with Cottage next turn, but this is putting some faith in our deck that will draw something. But they're getting close to the Smuggler's Surprise. And honestly, they might just Red Inferno here. Okay, that too. No problem. So now, I think I want to be mana efficient here and just play an Archfiend, because I attacked them down to 14. Then my next attack could be 4, down to 10... 6 down to 4. I have exactly lethal next turn if I attack for 3. Attack with Archfiend, Dread Knight, Llanowar Elf, and Restless Cottage. So, yeah, let's do that. That's Xaxes next turn all planned out. So if they go for some kind of setup turn, up the Beanstalk, another ramp spell, they just die. 10, yeah, 14. There we go. Okay, okay. So, this is the Gruul Surprise deck, I imagine. So, we're going to bring in some Duresses. We're going to take out our Cut Downs and our Anoints with Affliction. Those cards are terrible against them. Liliana's probably pretty good. Depriving them of resources is the name of the game. Sorry, Vivian. You have not been great at all. But you know what? I'm still here for it. And I think we'll just bring in the Terrace Under. No real other considerations. This feels like exactly just how we have to sideboard. I mean, and I wouldn't say I threw this sideboard together or anything. Like, I definitely put some thought into it, but this works out very perfectly when you want your cut downs and your anoints out of there. All right. Game 2 on the draw. Okay, we still have a turn 2 Glissa. Oh my god, I can die happy. I can die happy. Hopefully we top deck Blooming Marsh so I don't have to play this. Alright, they're playing a little bit of a spicier list. I'm still going with the turn 2 Glissa and then we'll start thinking about duressing. There was plenty of ways to build that Gruul Surprise deck. And if you haven't seen it, feel free to go back and watch the latest video. I'm going to just start with a Bronco. As if we top deck an untapped land, I'll still go Glissa and Crew, I think. Dino. Okay. Now I would love a land to just drop Glissa. No such luck. Now we could try to go with Dread Knight to top deck a land. I think I'm still just going to play a Bronco, even though this is kind of a Time Walk-esque turn. They've really just, you know, dealt with our first few threats, and it's really stabilized and really slowed us down. Okay. So just lands and Terror the Peak. All right, they're definitely playing this a different list. A lot of ways to build that deck. Kind of wish I would have duressed them. At least we'll get to Bronco. And they have a Llanowar. So now I basically have to duress. So I'm going to attack, see what we hit. Hopefully not an Annex. Oh, no! Oh, no! Oh, shucks. Okay, well, I got to duress. They could have the Smuggler's Surprise. This is not going well, this game. I'll tell you that. This game has not ended up well. Wow. Everything that could have went wrong from the jump has went wrong. Just get me out of here. Get me out of here. We are so dead. That could not have went any more poorly. Good lord. I don't even know if Duress is that good against them. They have a lot of creatures. I think our Vivian is actually good. And I'll take out one Duress, but Duress still seemed fine. They just do have a lot of creatures. We need to time it a little better, I guess. But yeah, none of our other removals kill the big flyers, so we're kind of priced into this configuration. That went from a great hand to an absolute train wreck really quick, y'all. That was kind of absurd. Okay, final game of the video. Let's get it. I would like to go first. We have the Llanowar, but we don't have anything to go into it. You really want pressure in this matchup, and all of our cards draw cards, so I actually think this is a mulligan here. If we had, like, a Bronco or a Mosswood Dread Knight or something, I would keep, but I think we need a little more, so I'm going to keep... Terra Sunder is not even that good of a card, so we'll get rid of that, and we'll start with the Bronco and try to go from there, but... Not a great draw. If we can curve out with Archfiend on 4, I feel okay, but them starting with Llanowar and us drawing our Llanowar late is pretty awkward. Wow, this is going south. No! Man, we're just getting dominated now. Well, that's not so bad. That card is a nice little split card in that deck. Maybe their version is better. Alright, if we can top deck a Black Source and crew, I feel real good. Okay, let's go. Crew it up. Now you take 8. No! Why? Okay, now they have 5 mana, so it's not the surprise turn yet, but it's getting close. Them not having an answer for Archfiend there feels really good, as I'm just gonna go with another one. Okay. Here we go. Can you beat a second one? Not many can. Okay. You can't ever block Llanowar now. Alright, so this is their big surprise turn, but let's see if it's enough to catch up with Archfiends. As like with my version, I had the Calamity Horse to just kill you. Oh no, I'm scared. Okay. A loot. Things are happening. I don't remember all the modes on the Tyrant. You gain a bunch of life. Oh god, okay. Alright, they're not dead. So if I draw a removal, they're probably dead. Removal! So this tramples, but that's okay. So I guess I just have to attack for 12. Use my fountain. And that's all I can do. Have some chump blockers. So I can make a treasure, or I can make a fish. It's gonna come down to it. What is this? Oh, this is the full? Oh no. So if they hit, those look bad. You want to put in a loot? I mean, this card's got to be good. It was not. It was not. Okay, I think we win then. Yeah, even the legend rule, they would have died to Archfiend here. So, all right, we got the 2-1 with Golgari. The deck feels pretty good. I think this is, of course, going to be a player in Standard as, you know, I mean, it's just hard to argue with Llanowar Elves as well as, we'll get into the deck here. It's hard to argue with Llanowar Elves and bunch of removal, Archfiends. You know, this is going to be the shell that we're going to see. The Vivian is probably too cute. I think I'll probably play something other than Vivian. But I liked not having Duresses in the main, especially now that there's a lot of aggressive decks. And too early to tell as the metagame's not fully established if we want to make any changes to the sideboard. But really cool stuff. Thank you all for watching. Remember, I really appreciate the help with subscribing to the channel, sharing the videos, and of course, leaving feedback. I'm going to keep trying to do daily videos here for Standard, as Standard's going to be the focus for a long time. Getting ready for RCQ season. The first spotlight in Atlanta. I just learned, it just got announced that the first Pro Tour of the year is Standard, so I'm going to be playing a lot of Standard, and I figured when I'm playing a lot of Standards, I might as well bring back the YouTube videos and try to bring you one every single day as we learn to master Standard. And, you know, while we're at it, we'll try to get to Mythic, maybe try to get to #1 at some point. But for now, we're just dipping our toes in. So, of course, give me any feedback. I really appreciate it. And thank you so much for watching, everyone. We'll see you in the next video.